Hi, we're Tony and Chelsea Northup, and this is Tony and Chelsea Live. Today we're doing a portfolio review, so we're going to be concentrating on a larger body of work from individual photographers. One of them could be you. We'll tell you how in just a second. Chelsea, who's paying for this?
Episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for creating a fast and easy professional website or online portfolio. You can try it out for free for 14 days, no credit card needed. They're not sassy like that. And if you like it, you can go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code portfolio.
Sounds good to me.
And you know what? I just discovered you can also make a free logo. I have to put out my logo video, actually. I already made it. And you can go on squarespace.com/logo, and it is so easy and awesome, and I used it to make some of the slides.
Yeah, it's a cool way to make logos.
You're gonna like it. Portfolio review.
If you want to send us your portfolio, go to sdp.io/link. We're going to be reviewing portfolios that people send in live, so we want you to be participating in the live show to review it. We get a lot of Squarespace portfolios, but we won't exclusively be reviewing Squarespace portfolios.
Don't do that.
Things that aren't portfolios are your Flickr or your 500 pics. We want you to have participated in the design of the web page, even if it's not on Squarespace. And we don't want to see like your Facebook feed. Like, we don't want to see thousands of pictures. Just your best work.
Just your best, yeah.
Help
us fix an error. This is something new, and I'm really excited about it. We do a lot of camera reviews, a lot of gear reviews, and sometimes people get really upset with us because they feel like we did something wrong. And we don't pretend to be perfect. We don't think we have all the answers, even though we try to be really unbiased and we try to have very thorough tests. But if you think we did something wrong, you can go to sdp.io/mistake, and you can submit our error, and you can also tell us how to fix it. You can give us a suggestion of a new test, or maybe you think we didn't use the right settings. I mean, come on, guys. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, all of us here.
Siobhan submitted one, and she said the problem was your face.
Yeah, that is a problem that I'm trying to fix.
And she said to fix it, she just wrote face off.
I don't know.
Oh.
I suspect we'll get a lot of incorrect statements in the mistake form, but we're all like fans of science, just our whole lives. Like all of us here, we just love science and statistics, so we tend to do things in a very scientific way. We're going to see Neil Tyson deGrasse speak tomorrow. Yeah,
like that's a night out for us. We're not cool people. I know I'm wearing a cool jacket and I'm drinking a martini, but I'm a pretty big nerd.
Well, in the science world, when you discover something, you usually test it out and retest it and use certain methodologies like double-blind tests, which we do all the time, or just single-blind tests. And so when you have some level of confidence, you publish it, but the process isn't done. You wait, and once you publish it, your peers get back to you and let you know there might have been a problem here. Sometimes other people will try to reproduce it, and if they get the same results, that's great. And if they don't get the same results, then you kind of go back and you collaborate and you look and you see what you can do to fix it. And we believe in this methodology, but it seems like we're the only people on the internet who are familiar with this.
I was just going to say that. It totally gets my goat when people just have these closed-circuit reviews where they just say something is, and then they never listen to feedback.
Yeah, and if you disagree with them, people often think if they disagree with us, it's some sort of personal attack, and we don't feel that way. If you disagree with us, I think that's part of the beauty of the internet is through videos, you can actually see how we are, we can see our testing process, which is great. That provides some extra transparency to it.
Yeah.
And you can give us feedback and let us know, hey, you didn't make this setting correct. And in the past, when we found out, hey, we should have changed the setting first, we just went back and retested it. No hurt feelings. We thank the person. We're glad you make everything more accurate for everybody.
I wanted to say for the record, because another page was saying, some people were talking about us getting secretly paid by this camera manufacturer, that
every time, yeah.
The only people that pay us are Squarespace. They're a portfolio provider. They're completely unbiased about our gear. We're allowed to say whatever we want. I don't even think they watch our videos.
Probably not.
But we would tell you. And
we also don't accept free gear because that's also a form of payment. Lots of sponsorships come in the form of free gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to disclose that if you're reviewing something.
But they don't.
Ethically.
But they don't.
No, they often don't.
No. And I would be honest with you.
So people are right to be concerned that our reviews might be sponsored because there are many people out there, including people on forums, who are receiving free gear or money and not disclosing it. So you should be suspicious, but we will tell you if we ever do decide to accept a sponsorship.
Because these manufacturers, they're just going into forums or finding these like pretty influential photographers and they're saying, hey, we'll just give you this lens and just use it and say you like it. and don't tell anyone that we gave it to you. And then they go on the internet and they're like, oh, I love it. It's the best. They've never used any other gear. They can't say that they like other gear, and yet everybody thinks they're unbiased. And it's really unfair to us because we've actually gotten a bad reputation for just being honest with our reviews about Sony or about different lenses, and it's because we don't give a shit. We buy it all. If I don't like it, I'm selling it.
Yeah.
When we keep gear, that's when you know we really like it. And we've kept Sony cameras, we've kept lenses. I don't know.
Often the guy
So
sponsored is
passionate.
that guy on the forum with 2,000 posts.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who posts all the time.
Oh,
The
yeah,
guy you
they'll
know, you
sponsor.
feel like he's your friend.
Yeah, they'll sponsor him.
He probably doesn't even feel like he's sponsored, but if he's accepted free gear, psychologically he's going to be inclined to say positive things, even if it's not necessarily warranted. So you're right to be suspicious, but
You're
we
getting
will
me
always
all
be
worked
honest
up.
with you. I know, it's kind of a corrupt industry.
Well, Justin hears me get worked up all the time because I will try so hard to be unbiased and someone will be pissed at me. And meanwhile, they're saying, oh, this person's so much more honest. And I know for a fact that they're sponsored.
Yeah.
I won't call people out, but I will be just like, generally like, be mad. Whatever. You know what? I think this proves that people can submit what they think is wrong, and we'll just be as open as possible, as transparent as possible.
Specifically on this forum, I'm looking for people to suggest testing methodology.
Yeah.
So if you think our autofocus test wasn't useful, tell us precisely how you'd like to see it tested. And we will repeat that. Even if we need to get an extra lens or change a setting, we will do it. Most of the time people just say, you're wrong, you don't know what you're doing, but tell us precisely, and then we will spend the time doing it.
I actually want to design a rig where we can test autofocusing and have it be consistent every single time.
Yeah, I just haven't, if you have a suggestion for how to do that
I do.
reliably.
I have an
so
idea.
often it has to be done with a telephoto lens, and I feel like you need 100 feet. Like
We
you need
could
a
do it.
massive area.
I have an idea. We're going to go over it later. It's going
Okay.
to be great. It's going to be cool. What next?
I
News.
wanted to go a couple of things in the news.
Okay.
Joshua Resnick is a stock photographer, which is also kind of our commercial field,
Yeah.
micro stock specifically. And he takes all sorts of pictures of things and smiling people eating salads and that kind of
Love
thing.
to smile and eat salads.
And probably like 2% of his portfolio happens to be these kind of boudoir pictures like you see on the cover of this. One of the models
lady.
that he used, every model he used for a stock shoot signs a model release. I know this for a fact because you are required to send the model release into the stock agency or else they won't accept your photos. So his photos got accepted at the stock agency. Therefore, he definitely had them sign a model release with their ID. This particular model is suing the photographer for $500,000
What an idiot. I just think
because
she's an idiot.
her pictures ended up being used on what I think the only source is the cover of these erotic ebooks.
Hollywood Sex Honey, part 2. There was a part 1.
Yeah, part one.
You gon' like this.
It was great, but the way it ended, it definitely left me wanting to read part 2, right?
It's only 19 pages?
I know.
That's not a book. I've written longer papers for a class.
Well, it's a separate topic entirely, but Amazon is riddled with these fake ebooks, basically. They will basically steal an image and use a cover template. Everything about it is fake. The author is fake. The name is fake. It's almost certainly a guy, Annie Ray.
That guy did it to us where he made a book that looked almost exactly like ours. The title was almost exactly the same.
Yeah, it had every single word from our title in it, except
Yeah.
my name.
Yeah, and people bought it thinking it was our book, and then I harassed him until he took it
So
down.
you'll see that one of the areas that this particular model's picture was used is on the cover of an erotic ebook. And I decided I would just contact the author and ask her where she purchased the ebook from.
Yeah.
So in doing that, I visited her author page, and this
MILF.
is the picture of Annie Ray. Yeah, these books are all terrible.
That's claiming to be Annie Ray, the stock photo.
Oh, right. So I just looked up the photo, and sure enough, there it is at Shutterstock.
Very
So
clearly not Annie Ray.
Annie Ray is almost certainly a dude using a stock photo with this kind of branding, but I would bet that their
that is so crazy.
English is a second language because first they misspelled Annie, their own name. Maybe it's an unusual spelling.
Can I just
But
say,
also,
though,
you gone like this. Like there's a grammatical error on the cover of the book. These books are terrible.
yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I haven't read it. I've seen enough. But I just want to say, how is she suing? If you pose like this for a stock photo, where do you think you're going to end up? Like smartgirls.com? That's like,
No, she's
Oh,
not going
that's
to be
what you're
selling salad dressing.
she could. Sometimes commercials are, maybe salad dressing in Europe.
So Justin, we have a little clip of the photographer talking about this.
Forney was surprised to see her pics plastered over escort sites and erotic ebooks.
Let's say somebody stumbles upon your portfolio and they decide to steal or otherwise misuse your photos and use one of them for a prostitution ad. You could wake up with a model suing you for $500,000 claiming you made her the face of porn and end up having to pay tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of legal bills to defend yourself.
So that's Joshua Resnick. If you decide that you want to throw some money at him, there's a link here at the bottom of the page, gofundme.com/.
I wouldn't give him money.
Resnick
He'll
Legal
be fine. If he did everything legally, he should be fine.
Yeah, and I don't know that his fundraising thing is legit. I do not trust any of these crowdsourcing things whatsoever.
Any of this.
The whole thing could be constructed. She could be in cahoots with him. I have no idea. But maybe you decide to trust him. There's the link. I think it's all interesting. And this is coming from a guy who has ended up as a model on Cialis ads.
Boner pills.
And the face of Velveeta, a very strange face. Like, we've both been stock models that have ended up in very strange places. You have to go into a stock modeling shoot with a sense of humor. It could end up anywhere, and you have to be okay with that.
People have said to us, like, oh, he must be embarrassed. And I'm like, no.
No, I think it's hilarious.
Definitely think it's hilarious to be the face of fake cheese. I am advancing. What's this about?
This is still just a rumor, but it seems like a legit leaked press release from Nikon. And if so, then I think it's a great idea. Nikon is beginning to push out software updates for existing cameras, adding new features into older cameras. And I think it's a great idea. So they're doing things like just adding, I don't know, like S-log curves, which kind of give you a flat curve on your video, which is great for post-processing. Little things like that. But on a bigger scale, I would love to see camera companies start opening up the software on the cameras a little bit.
Yeah.
Magic Lantern did that for Canon, and it advanced the company hugely, as well as just videography hugely. And I don't know why more companies don't do this. Nikon is probably threatened by the likes of Samsung and Sony, who are allowing apps to be installed and more extensibility. So anyway, I'm excited about it. I hope Canon follows suit, and I hope we see that in the next couple of days. I think it's scheduled to be released on like the 15th.
Speaking of Nikon.
Yeah,
I heard about this.
It seems like the D750 has been recalled. There's kind of like a manufacturing defect of the way the sensor is placed in the camera, and sometimes it's placed a little bit farther forward, and it will catch this like nasty flare. So they issued a recall and said they would fix it, but then the camera just disappeared from the shelves. It's like removed from Amazon.
Oh no!
And that's kind of big news because the D750 is huge.
Yeah.
It's like one of their most popular cameras.
I feel really sorry for them, actually.
I know.
And everyone that bought it. What a bummer.
Yeah, and can you imagine the person responsible for that? Like, these kinds of things happen, and Nikon is kind of getting a reputation because they had the leak issues on the D600 and now this. So you can't buy a D750 right now unless you want to get it used.
Yeah.
And this did seem to pop up in real-world scenarios on a regular basis. Like some of these things that have happened with other cameras, you had to really work hard to reproduce them, but this seems to happen.
I just have to say real quick, I can't see Siobhan's comments. They're old from last week, so I don't know if...
Oh, you must have the wrong link.
I'll get them to you.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
This is the Samyang 135 f2 lens. We have the Samyang 85mm f1.4. In fact, it's the Chelsea camera there. We absolutely love it. It's just a beautiful lens. The biggest problem with it is manual focus. That's one of the reasons we mostly use it for video. But it is also the lens we use to take our cover of the Lightroom book.
Is that the same manufacturer that made the 0.95?
No, that was Midicon.
Oh, okay.
Different Chinese manufacturer. Anyway, they announced the 135 f2. If it's like the 85mm f4, and I suspect it's just like it, it's outrageously sharp, but a longer focal length, which I think is more appropriate for portraits. I'd rather have this. But manual focus on shallow depth of field is not a good combination. I think it's going for about $500, which is like almost twice as much as the 85mm. Anyway, just want to let you know that it was there.
We talked about this guy already.
Yeah, I talked about it last week, but I didn't have the video clip. So Justin now has the video clip. I just wanted to show you this guy. He's awesome. You can just roll it, Justin. There he goes. I mean...
Oh, look at that leg.
Yeah, you just had to see it.
Very good leg. Oh. Oh, he could get ticks like that. Somebody needs to put a flea
He's gonna get
collar.
Lyme.
Oh, oh. Was that a thong? Is he wearing a... Oh, he's like a little leprechaun.
But I like how the models are not supposed to react to him whatsoever.
He's like, do you
They're
play
just supposed
cool?
to go about their day.
I've got some moves I'm going to pull. I need to do that.
Let's look at a portfolio. This one does happen to be sponsored or hosted on Squarespace. Okay, so his opening pictures are all in black and white.
I like
and-
it. I like it.
But there's no whites in them. Why is that? You can see white in the text here, and he's gone from black to like middle gray. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Is this just his style? It's very weird to just give up that top end contrast.
You
Like,
should
look at
have
my
some
cursor compared to this guy's.
White and black in your picture.
Yeah, it bumped me right away that there were no whites in these pictures, but I think the pictures themselves are really
Beautiful
compelling.
composition.
I
I love
love the
that.
motion in this.
Me
Looks like
too.
Brooklyn or maybe Manhattan Bridge.
Brooklyn.
Great shots. I think you must have done it deliberately. I just don't know why there are no whites in this.
How many doesn't know? Maybe it's in like matte plus black and white. He's like conflating the two styles.
This is a lot of pictures for a
Baby.
portfolio.
Ooh, I love that. Good. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of searching.
They're a bit random. You have like kids and then like very dramatic black and white. I'm being torn all over the place.
Yeah, there
Like
doesn't.
that's great. And then this is just like, whoa, whoa.
You know what you might do is separate the portfolio into street photography and portraits.
I would
'Cause
also
I think that's what we're saying.
pare it down. You know,
Yeah, these were
the
a whole lot
best
of pictures.
the best. Is that Elvis?
You know, Justin, I think, has his camera working. So what do you think,
Justin?
of this?
Did we get a word from Justin?
It's pretty cool. I like it. It is definitely strange about the whites not being there, though.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the children?
Children were good.
Children are good.
Children are
You're
good.
right from Justin.
Wait, go back. One more. I love that picture. Maybe I just bring down the highlights on his head a little bit. He's got a great pose.
Yeah, actually, too many whites on this. This one actually might work well in black and white, though. I don't know. It's so monochromatic anyway.
Yeah, the colors are kind of vivid.
I'm also want to call on Justin because I think his camera looks so cool.
Yeah, his camera's cool, but he's cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah, you look
cool
good
camera,
over
Justin.
there, Justin.
Okay, let's find out what his mission is.
What's your mission? That makes me nervous. What if it was to
It's
kill
Matthew
us?
28:19, so we are already familiar with that.
Wait, what is that?
You don't remember, Chels? Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit. I thought everybody just knew that.
I didn't know it. Sorry. Aw.
There he is. That is a really cute picture. I love to see photographers' self-portraits. I
just
think it'd
feel
be a
like-
great art project is just to compile all the photographers' self-portraits. How do they portray
Yeah.
themselves?
And I like, it makes him feel very approachable and it's like a very intimate photo and I feel like I know him and yeah, you can take pictures of me. I don't mind.
Yeah, I love that.
He's in Allentown, Pennsylvania? Babe, that's what Billy Joel sings about. Well, we're living here.
He said Squarespace is awesome. So he was pretty brief about it.
Yeah.
But he's
has
right,
some there,
Squarespace is
few
awesome.
Words, but true.
Let's look at another portfolio. I see some
Where are my comments?
Facebook
I need 'em.
links in there, and we're not going to look at Facebook links. We will look at actual portfolios, though. This is not hosted on Squarespace.
Okay.
Just so people know we're not doing all
Well, it
sorts
looks
of Squarespace
nice,
stuff.
I think. So far, so good.
Yeah.
You love that full screen kind of thing.
Yeah, though I thought by clicking it, maybe I could see a different picture.
Maybe
and
you arrow, no?
No, that's not working either. So we were a little confused by the user interface. Now this says ruins, plural, but I do not know how to see the other pictures. I don't know.
Castillo.
Where are the other ruins?
Maybe let's go to a different category. Maybe they just have one picture per thing.
I can only see
This
one
is
picture.
fauna and flora. Let's see what that.
That's
It's a cat.
fauna is an animal, right? It's not a term I really use all the time.
I do. I use it all the time.
Heterochromia iridium? Oh, that's
from
the
the
state of
eyes.
the eye, yeah.
That's the state of the eye. You're cool.
I feel like
What? Is that
Simon-
Niagara?
it maybe? I'm not sure.
I don't know anything anymore.
Simon, we don't know how to work your website.
Well, maybe if we click on his name.
Oh, you know what? I could scroll
Oh, you
down.
can scroll.
That was
That's smart.
completely not obvious because it's completely filling my screen. That is one of the things you want in a user interface is you need to show some clues there's stuff down below.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a developer for years and I didn't figure out that I just needed to scroll down.
Yeah. Weren't you fired, though, for not scrolling?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
So it is Niagara.
Oh, my gosh. That's beautiful. I love that bird. Probably a seagull.
I have a very similar picture in Stunning Digital Photography about showing scale. Those
You did it
huge
right.
boats. Some of these pictures are very, very similar. And in fact, many of your waterfalls are of the same location. That's something we try to avoid in a portfolio. You can go to sdp.io/portfolio checklist to get our full portfolio.
You can.
So now that we've figured out your user interface, scroll down a little bit. Ah, the jellyfish shot. We were just shooting some of those. Oh,
Look at
what
the
a
gun.
gorgeous little turtle.
Oh, look at that cat's face. He is angry.
Yeah.
That's what I look
Cats,
like when
man.
I'm reading YouTube comments. You like that, huh, Justin? I think his or her portfolio is nice.
Well,
Oh, it's Simon.
do you have any suggestions for Simon?
Let's scroll down. Oh, is this in Mexico? I want to go there. No, not too many pictures.
I feel like there's a lot of duplicate subjects, and
Okay, you're right. You're right.
some of his portfolio, I feel like these pictures in particular are a little over-processed. Like he's going right back up.
Yeah, I click stream. I think we're just going to be like on the air.
Sorry, I think our stream dropped for a little bit. I'm just going to double check it.
Why does it do it?
It says good, and
Okay.
it doesn't even indicate that it dropped, but... Okay, Simon, if you didn't catch it, we were saying that we like your
saying we like
portfolio.
it.
There's a little bit much on the muchness
There's a muchness. Just bring
Yeah.
it down a little bit.
with the like saturation and the
And the
HDR-ity
HDR.
of it. But we like your work. I might even suggest at this point
I like his life.
in your portfolio his life.
Oh my
Oh, he's
gosh,
traveling
he's
around
in
and
like
stuff.
warm places, and I'm in cold places.
Yeah,
There's
Connecticut
a coconut
sucks
there.
for this whole half of the year. That's a beautiful picture.
There's mist.
Oh, Star Trails.
Looks like the Anaconda video.
You're really stuck on Nicki Minaj lately. I'm even going to suggest that you make get rid of the categories. I want to see you
Oh.
take all those 5 categories
Oh.
and pick your 10 to 15 best pictures out of all of them
Okay.
and put them into one group.
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
No?
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm just going to soak it in and see how this plays out.
Should I throw it back to Justin?
Justin.
No,
He said-
Justin says no. Okay, Justin's working on stuff.
Justin, how do I get my comments? I feel so lonely.
Do you have AIM on there?
No, but I'll try.
If it does, it would log in as me. Sorry, we're having Chelsea normally reviews people's comments, but
Can I send him to Tony's email?
Sure.
Okay.
I think.
live show, things happen.
Oh, live show. Whoa, we're so spontaneous.
I think this is also not a Squarespace portfolio. I don't even know how to say this name.
Petrides? Petrides.
Oh, it is Squarespace.
Petrides.
Okay.
I recognize the logo. I recognize the clip art. All right, Justin.
Is your computer making a...
It's breathing.
Oh, it's the fan.
Breathe. Okay.
Don't shoot what it
shoot
looks like?
What it looks like. Shoot. I totally agree. Shoot what it feels like. Sometimes I take a picture of something and I think, that's not what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I try to follow that rule when I edit, too. Not necessarily exactly... The camera doesn't always capture what you
No.
felt at the moment. Sometimes you have to go back and edit it to not do
Here's
what
a
the
good
camera saw.
example. I was once doing a stock shoot where I was holding a pie, and like pie is supposed to look like warm, like fresh out the oven, homemade, but in the picture it looked gray. And like gray pie, that's not really good, the crust. So I went in and I selected it and I warmed up the crust to look really just like warm and almost, you know, that toasty look. And it completely changed the picture, remember? Mm-hmm. And then added a little bit of steam. And it wasn't really there, but it was like telling a story. It had to look fresh out the oven. That was boring. Sorry.
Well, this episode is sponsored by Espresso martinis. To make an espresso martini, it's a lot like a mudslide. What I like to do is the morning of like a party, if I want people to be staying up late, espresso martinis are good because they got alcohol and lots of caffeine. So you will have awake drunks instead of sleepy drunks. If that's your goal, espresso martini is the answer to all your problems. That morning you go to Starbucks and you order an octuple espresso. 8 shots of espresso in like a to-go cup. And they will look at you like you're insane. But you take your to-go cup with enough caffeine to kill a horse, and you bring it home and you put it in the fridge. And it's going to chill. And then overnight, or like by the time the party rolls around, it's going to be cold enough to mix into a martini. You take 2 parts of that espresso, and then I want to say like 3 parts vanilla vodka, or just vodka and some vanilla, which is what I did for this one. 3 parts Kahlua and 2 parts Bailey's. Shake it up over ice, and I like to really shake a martini, like shake it hard.
He does, I say that.
Yeah, because when you shake it really hard, ice like
chips,
fragments off.
yeah.
And then when you pour it, you get little floaty ice chips in there.
I love floaty ice chips.
It's awesome. Chill your glass, put some ice and some water in there and let it sit for like a good 5-10 minutes, and your glass will be cold and it won't be warming up the drink. Garnish with a couple of coffee beans.
I don't like the coffee beans. They keep hitting me in the face.
Oh, all right. Chelsea's against the garnish, but I feel like garnish is a very important part.
It looks
of
like a
martini.
rabbit pooped in there.
All right. Chelsea's against the garnish. I mean, you can't put an olive in it, right? And what are you going to do without
oh my
a garnish?
gosh, pleve don't put an olive.
No. What do you suggest for a garnish then? Maybe like a Hershey's Kiss or something?
A chocolate rim.
I've seen that go. I don't like it to get too girly, but...
Yeah, you do.
I know, not like it's the most macho drink, But
yeah, you're like, I don't want to get too girly with my espresso martini.
I'm kind of curious what happens if I click here for most popular content.
I'm scared. Don't do it.
Oh, all right.
I'm glad I did it. Wait, that's a crazy looking comp. I think you've got a...
You think it's a comp, huh? Why do you think it's a comp?
Because the stars look so sharp and the building looks so sharp, it almost looks like the stars are like right behind it.
Yeah, I don't
worry
think
for
the brightness
humanity.
of the stars could match the brightness of the building. It probably is a comp.
Can I just read some
That's
comments?
definitely a comp. Yeah.
Johnny Longname says, Tony, where did you get that dope sweater, brah?
My sister-in-law gave it to me for Christmas.
My sister gave it
Or my
to
birthday.
me. For
Yeah.
your birthday. But I agree, it's dope. And someone else
By
commented.
the way, most of you guys missed my birthday. It's not too late to send presents, but
He likes
I know, we're all kind of
sweaters.
embarrassed.
He loves vests and sweat. Maybe a sweater vest would be the perfect gift.
what else you got?
I tested the 6,000 sample before release with the 55 to 210 and the 70 to 200, and it was snappy and tracked 90% of the shots, and I was curious how the final version handles. That's Nick Parala.
What is the 6,000 sample?
Maybe the Alpha 6000? The Son?
I don't know. I don't understand what he said.
Maybe try again and we'll try.
I don't think there's a 55 to whatever
I don't know. I just
in the
read.
Sony realm.
I just read.
Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Kitchenan says, is it a good time to buy either Canon, the 5D Mark III, or the Canon 6D? These 2 models are ready for a refresh. Oh, so you think that they might come out with a new one?
Yeah, I've actually been pricing used 5D Mark IIIs because we gave ours a good soaking in Glacier National
Yeah,
Park.
we gave ours a literal bath in the rain, and it broke.
Withstood a lot, but it died. They're going for about $2,100 to $2,200 now, used, which is a good price.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get them much cheaper than they were new, like 30% off. I'll say I've seen some good rebates on them, and B&H has had some good specials with the Canon mail-in rebates, which might still be valid. So I guess those cameras the image quality is really aging. So if you're not that concerned about noise, shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But many people are more concerned than they should be. Sure.
Okay, someone says, hey Tony and Chelsea, what do you think of the new Tamron wide angle lens, the 15 to 30? I haven't used it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I asked for that, but I don't think we've gotten it in, so I need to follow up with the Tamron guy, but I'm curious.
Or just buy it. And then he also asked, and what's the deal with Fong? Gary Fong wrote some stuff and then deleted it. And I tried to follow up with him on Twitter to see, like, hey, are you really as, like, not into us as it seems? I just kind of want to clear the air and see.
So let's back up a little bit. Gary Fong is kind of an advocate for Sony and Sony cameras. And we did our review of the Alpha 6000 versus some other DSLRs, and we found that the focusing system was not what Sony claimed. They said it was the fastest in the world, and when we compared it to other cameras, even the least expensive DSLRs beat it at focus tracking at that specific task.
Yeah.
And as per usual, we did it in our very mathematical way with double-blind tests and multiple passes and everything. So Gary Fong specifically targeted us. He saw our review, and he got a friend with a 7D Mark II, and they took pictures of a guy skiing. One pass down a hill.
Yeah.
And the guy operating the Canon camera, the camera focused on the wrong skier at first, and then focused on the right skier. And Gary kind of declared that the Sony won, but scientifically, I thought there were just a multitude of problems. So Gary said a lot of mean things about us. He said that we were definitely being paid by Canon, which we're not.
It was like insinuated. It was very vague, and so I wrote a comment on his YouTube like, hey, we're not sponsored by Canon, and if you think our method is wrong, submit it to our new link. And he just deleted the whole thread, and someone called me like your ditzy wife. There was a lot of bashing, and I just like to be open. I don't need to be sneaky. I'd rather just get it out there and be like, hey, we're both trying to teach people. Let's figure it out. We can work on it together instead of being pitted against each other. He hasn't responded to us. I tried to comment again.
Yeah, so I reached out to him and said, hey, we did similar tests and came up with different results.
Yeah.
So the scientific way to do this is to kind of get together and collaborate and decide the best way to test it and retest it. And I sent that message and he didn't get back to me. And then we found he'd gone in the past, said just terrible things about us on his Twitter.
Yeah, he said that we were spinning, that one of our videos was spin. But I thought that he liked us because, according to YouTube, he's one of our top viewers.
He's not our #1 fan, but he's our number two fan on YouTube. So he watches lots of our videos.
He watches a lot of our videos.
We must know we're not sponsored because he says that all the time.
And the other thing is that, he asked us which lav mics we're using, and we told him, we're not, I don't know.
Yeah, we support other people who are... We're just art teachers, basically.
So maybe it's just a big misunderstanding. So we asked him on Twitter.
He's been removing our comments from... Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds.
You know how it goes.
Okay, so let me see. Do you want any more?
Let's look at some more pictures.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to comments. But yeah, we have a screener, Siobhan in Philadelphia. She doesn't like it when I say Pennsylvania.
She's in
Siobhan in Pennsylvania is reviewing your comments and feeding them to us. So we see the best of. Thank you, Siobhan.
Siobhan, thank you.
N/Petreeds. This is his most popular content, and it seems to mostly be
I like that
Star Trails.
feature, the most popular content feature. I love that one. That's cool.
Yeah, I do think Star Trails are cool. I see some gaps in the Star Trails, which bumps me a little bit. That means that it was interrupted. The camera was interrupted during taking shots and then came back online. I usually, if there's a gap, I'll cut everything after the gap or before the gap and just take the longest contiguous segment. If you look at my Star Trails video, I also suggest an app that will look at the Star Trails and stitch it together to fill in the gaps. So that's another option. I'll say, if you look here, there's some weird warping going on.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, so there's a couple of, we could tell it was a comp, but there's a little bit of, there's some flaws.
One thing, if you go back, can you go back to that picture?
Yeah.
One thing that gives away the fact that it's a comp is that the stars are really bright on the horizon, which is just not how it works. So I would probably blend it in a bit more and make them less obvious at the horizon and then make them their brightest towards the top of your picture. And that will just make it a little bit more natural. Or if this is a look you're going for, that's cool too.
I also don't, they're oval which is unusual. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't know why they would be oval.
Oval.
Okay, let's look at his people.
Look at people. What's that? What's this?
It looks like a hairstylist, like an environmental portrait for a hairstylist.
Oh, cool. I'd let him do my hair.
Yeah, though I'll say, because of the HDR processing, it brought out a lot of contrast in the background, and I don't know,
like the clock and the stairs and
yeah,
stuff?
like there's a Windex bottle back here that I don't know if that's an important part of the picture.
Maybe it is.
So you might actually think about either cropping it down.
I think I'd crop it like here and then crop out the stairs and just do a vertical picture. Because we have the reflection of the hair dryer here, and then this is just all like, you don't want to look at that.
Yeah, and so some of the key storytelling elements here, we need to show that he's a hairdresser. And I can see that they've put some tools in his hands, but from this picture, at this scale, I can't see what those are.
Okay.
So that doesn't tell me anything about him, but it just seems like he's holding stuff. So you might even get closer to him, fill the frame more so we can just see what those objects are. With something like the scissors, maybe separate the scissors, so they kind of better tell the story of being scissors. You know, you have to visually think like he's holding scissors, but can the viewers then see that they're scissors? And when we think of scissors, we don't think of them closed, we think of them open. If he's holding a brush, we'd want to see the bristles like from the side.
Okay.
So little things to think about as you're kind of conveying that somebody is a stylist.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, this is a cool shot. I like the interesting angle. I'll say that I'm a little bumped by the amount that's held by of the frame that's filled with this gray ceiling. There's so much gray here.
Aw.
Yeah, that is really cute, kind of street photography. Back to the hairstylist. I think this is the best of the kind of stylist
I like
photos.
it.
This really
Plain background.
tells the story of him being a stylist. I wouldn't mind seeing this cloned out.
That's you
During
need
the shoot,
that.
you could just move it, but I would love to see it perfectly symmetrical on this white background. But barring that, I think this is a distraction. I like that shot though.
Don't look at me just because it's spot color. I think it's a very nice picture, but I'm not a fan of spot color. But, you know, I don't always get what I want. That looks like a comp, right?
It's a comp, and her skin is kind of purplish.
So you
Which is
usually
not-
want to match like the light. That's why comps are really difficult.
Yeah, it can be really difficult.
So,
Commercial? Just 2 shots in there, but I think they're both solid shots, and I think you're kind of making mock-ups to demonstrate your skills, and I think both the commercial shots worked really
yeah, they
well.
look good.
Let's learn more about N. Petrides. Oh, he's got a Hatsy. Show off.
Fancy.
Great. He's got a separate contact page. Nick. We'd like to see an email address on the contact
Yeah,
page,
yeah.
but that's about it. You got a picture of yourself. I think your portfolio is
Looks
coming
good.
together well.
What's our feedback for him?
Let's see. He says, I love Squarespace. It's the best thing I found since wasting hours coding my own. Now Squarespace has changed a lot amount of my time, more shooting time. Okay. He's saying he has more time for shooting because he doesn't have to worry about HTML. Something I totally agree with. I'll go in and see if anybody recently has submitted a portfolio. Okay, let's take a look at a Squarespace portfolio. This next portfolio we're looking at, I've been in the business, he says about Squarespace, I've been in the business just a few months now. I definitely still have lots to learn. I enjoy more candid work, but I'm sure that my style is still developing. My earlier work was shot with an NEX5R, a little Sony mirrorless camera. Now he's jumped up to the A6000. I didn't choose Sony as much for the mirrorless as I did for what it seemed to be a good value proposition, although he loves the size and speed of the
the size
A6000.
is
So
really nice.
right on topic, the Alpha 6000. This is Wes Perry's portfolio. Photography and video services.
Cool. Let's check it out.
Yeah, this first shot, it looks like a photo of a TV, right? That's my take.
It's
I thi-
interesting. It's
Yeah,
eye-catching.
it almost feels like he's establishing kind of a mood. And then kind of a more traditional wedding portrait.
That baby looks baffled by that leaf.
Maybe it's a city kid. It might be the first
What is this?
leaf she's seen.
Poor child.
Are they fighting?
No, I think they're just like, I don't know. I won't pretend to know.
I would just ask that you clone that car. Otherwise, I think it's a
Ooh.
kind of a nice shot. Okay, let's check out his albums. What do you feel like, Chelsea?
Theater.
Theater. Okay, that is an unusual.
Said it wrong.
Oh, okay. So it's Shakespeare in the Park. So they very well might have been
Oh.
fighting. I thought it was a
They're good
traditional wedding
actors.
shot.
I thought they were really having a bad time.
That's a beautiful shot too.
I love the lighting. Cool. Let's do more.
Okay, which one?
Portrait.
Portrait.
I love the second picture.
Yeah, I like both of these, but I love the way you use the light, the sun here, and that's one of the secrets that I love is to let the sun just peek out behind something. It creates like a cool glare.
It does.
A little bit of flare without blowing the picture out too much. Good exposure on this picture, though. There's a lot of distractions there, unless somehow the parking lot is a key part of the picture. Probably not.
He looks like a scientist that made that parking lot.
I love this picture. Unconventional composition with her
Yeah.
violating the rule of space,
But it's
facing
really
right off the
nice.
frame, but
And
I
her
like that
expression
too.
is really nice too.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous shot. Yeah, I love your environmental portraiture. These are all fantastic shots. They all
That last one is really
belong
beautiful.
in your portfolio. Nicely done. Curious to see his wedding photography. Wow, look at these tiny people.
Getting distracted by the comments again. Is it my
Oh,
fault our
Chelsea.
viewers are so funny? No. They entertain me. It's so backwards. Let's see more. That looks like a very dangerous wedding.
What do you imagine is going to happen?
They're going to fall. They're going to get a bruise.
Very non-traditional wedding photography. Usually we see more like close-ups and kind of traditional portraits.
yeah.
If you're looking to get people to hire you for wedding photography, I would definitely put some more traditional stuff in it because that's
Yeah.
what people want. That's why it's traditional. Feel free to mix in your own flair, but yeah, you might consider just going a little more basic. Let's find more out about.
Oh, that's him?
Oh, was
I
a self-portrait.
I liked that picture. Good job.
All right, Wes, we gave you a little bit of feedback. The contact page has an email. You're looking good. Check out Wes's portfolio. Chelsea, what other comments do we have? Well, I queue up the next.
Someone wished you a happy 58th birthday.
Thank you. 58 years young, I say.
And Across the Blue Ocean said that he's a PhD student and he agrees wholeheartedly with her adherence to the scientific method. Thank you. And Dave Robbins said Justin is rocking the new lower thirds graphics. Justin, you're doing a really good job over there. You don't get enough credit. You are rocking those lower third graphics.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a whole new graphic system, and
Wes Perry says you guys need to be meaner, or I mean more critical, constructively. Unless you get to mine, then be gentle. We generally just like to encourage and focus on a few things. You don't want to overwhelm people, and you want to encourage them to take more pictures because someone just posted a picture on my Facebook wall the other day of like the most awful stock picture that we took maybe 6 years ago. It was so bad and so embarrassing. And if when I took that picture, if someone had said, that photo sucks, I probably would just given up. So it's like, it's a journey. You don't have to be perfect to be proud of your pictures. Just keep putting them out there, keep practicing, and you're going to keep growing. That's what matters.
yeah, photography is something that you don't master in 5 years or 10 years or 30 years. It's something you spend a lifetime and you get better and better at. An interesting exercise is to go to any YouTube channel that you like and sort their videos by the date they were published, and then look at that person's first couple of videos.
Yeah, but don't
Because-
do that to us.
No.
But do it to other people.
But the older videos are always awful. Like
Yeah.
the sound is awful, every aspect of the video production is just terrible, including our older videos.
Well, okay.
Because people get better at stuff over time.
Yeah.
It's practice makes perfect, and it's something your mom told you over and over again, but most people still don't get.
You just have to be a little bit delusional and a little bit obsessive and just don't give up.
Yeah. So we do see bad pictures and we don't say, hey, your picture's terrible, because we're all in the learning phase of things, and we know that encouragement is one of the most important parts of developing a photographer. We just have to not give up.
Yeah.
And some negative words can make somebody give up. One person can say negative things to people and they will simply give up.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be that guy.
Well, not only that, I mean, how rude is it to take a beginner and then just tear them down? I mean, I think there's always something that people are doing right, and I'd rather focus on that and like build off of it. I taught piano for like 11, 12 years, and instead of just focusing on what they're not good at, I like to just build on their skills. We don't need everybody to be the same. We don't need everyone to have the same skills. I don't know.
And every single person here has taken pictures and organized them and then gone through the trouble to publish them and then sought out people on YouTube who will review them and give them feedback. So they are looking for feedback. Like, they're doing everything right, and they've already gone way farther than 99% of people. Like, congrats to everybody who even gets this far.
Yeah.
You've done a lot, and you just need to stick with it, and you will get there, no matter what your current state is. It looks like you have some more comments to read, Chelsea.
Yeah, we have a lot. Someone said Pentax gear reviews, please.
Can I
Dan said
address
that.
the Pentax thing?
Yeah, you go.
Because we want to review Pentax gear, and people think somehow we're holding Pentax back by not publicizing their gear.
Yeah, what's the deal?
In March of 2014, I made contact with a publicist at Pentax who said she would be happy to provide some gear for review. They just had to wait for some review copies to come in.
And they don't?
And I followed up every couple of months, and they keep saying soon, soon, soon. And now it's 2015, and they said we might get something in, I forget, like March or May.
Oh.
So we keep asking for it. It's hard to invest in this whole big system because we do buy some gear.
Yeah.
But they also haven't had anything
Well,
really new.
We try to get people to just send us stuff, but we'll buy it if we can't get it.
Yeah, we'd rather borrow something.
Especially because we don't always succeed at reselling stuff, and then we just have a ton of things laying around.
Anyway, we have reached out to Pentax. We would love to review their gear. If you want to send us your Pentax camera to review, we'd be happy to take a look at it. If they release a new camera, we'll be on it. But for the meantime, we've tried. Do you have any other comments?
This is not related at all. Johnny Longname says, "Oh, hell no. No one insults Chelsea." And I totally agree. I don't know what these people are thinking. Okay? Nobody insults me.
Uh-oh. Watch out, Gary Fong.
And Ditto Glenn said Fong is probably butthurt over Tony calling a speedlight attachment a Tupperware bowl. That actually...
I don't think that's me. Did
that
I say
wasn't
that?
us. That was, who's improved photography?
Jim
Harmer.
and Darren.
I really like Jim Harmer. He's a
Yeah, I was
super
on their
nice guy.
podcast. They are the nicest
They're
people
really
in
nice
photography.
people, but they did call Gary Fong's thing, they put it up against the Tupperware, and the Tupperware was like equally good, which is not good for your business. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And someone said that they approve of your shirt. People are really into your wardrobe.
Yeah, people talk about my clothes all the time.
How come nobody cares
I want
about
to get
my
some
wardrobe?
clothes sponsored.
My shirt has birds on it.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody even
very
cares
nice.
about the birds.
Very nice.
Well, speaking of birds, I've been looking at Alex Taylor Wright's photography.
Yeah.
I'll say that
A GBH.
these are a lot of good pictures. There's a few too many of the same species. Usually our rule with wildlife portfolios is like one per
Two,
species.
maybe one or two.
Yeah. Pick your best.
They're really good if they're very different.
Yeah, beautiful
love
picture
those
of a
robins.
European robin. They have the better robins, right?
Their robins are cuter.
Yeah. One
But
of the
that's
many
it.
things the
It's
Europeans
only
are better
thing.
at.
No, that's it. I like the kid behind the chair. That's cute.
Yeah, that one's great. This one feels more deliberate than these others. Well, this one, they clearly sat them down. Where are they, though?
Child prison. These are nice. Not too many,
I know,
not too
it's something I really
overwhelming.
like.
I think we have the same template. Can't remember what it's called.
Alex, I like your use
It's
of the...
momentum, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Justin.
Justin is an
I know.
encyclopedia.
Justin
He just
is the
knows
man.
stuff.
Justin is so the man.
He pitched something out today that I should have known, but he knew, and I was like, how
knows
is that
everything.
in your head?
It's crazy. He
It
knows
just amazes
science
me.
too.
He knows everything about science.
No.
Justin's the only person I know who will never, ever BS.
No.
If he's fairly uncertain
No.
about something, he
He'll
will
be
tell
like,
you.
I don't know.
He'll
Yeah.
also say things like, he won't say something's a fact, but he'll say, several of the top scientists will say,
I know.
like he cites his sources when he provides you information.
No, he's like my own personal
Justin's
podcast.
the man, yeah.
Justin is the man. How do you feel about that, Justin, being a man?
You've been promoted.
No
New
comment.
title,
good.
the man.
It's good. Feels good. Alex Taylor Wright Photography.
I do just want to see a picture of you, Alex.
We
Put it
need
on
to
your
see you.
contact page. That's good enough.
Sports, events. I like your pictures. I like that everything's... Oh, we've seen his pictures before, I think.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure, and I think that he switched to Squarespace. Is that
Oh, he
true,
switched.
Alex? Write me a message. Speak to Siobhan. Speak to me, Alex.
Alex says, it's so simple and could radically change the looks in minutes. Oh, did Bill Peppas?
He said people would pay attention to my shirt once I started wearing none. What do I look like?
Bill!
Bill, I'm a classy lady. And
Who
someone
is
else
currently
said
working on a
they
photo shoot based on the Anaconda video by Nicki Minaj.
I like butts.
She can't lie.
I like butts. Okay, sorry.
Wendy
Cooper!
I know, she just submitted a long
You know
time.
who I love?
Wendy Cooper?
Yeah, I love Wendy Cooper. And Wendy Cooper has like been with us since the beginning. I think she was in our forum years ago. And we've seen her go from just not even having any shots in focus and being really far away to having these really good pictures. She's improved so much.
Yeah,
She's
she has more
steadfast and
stick-to-itiveness than just about anybody. And I still love seeing her wildlife photography.
She's
I love
cool.
it anytime it pops up.
She's my friend's cousin. Is that
What?
a coincidence?
You're related to Wendy Cooper? Or not?
My friend.
That's not
no,
related.
I went. Yeah, I don't know. Wendy, is that a coincidence that you know TJ or?
Oh,
don't
she's
know.
related to TJ.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite science dudes.
He's so cool. He has a science show
Oh, why do we never watch a science show?
because we don't have cable.
Oh.
It's just simple.
So Wendy's pictures got some songbirds in here.
I like that one.
Yeah, just
Like,
gorgeous.
He's just singing his heart out.
I'd probably bring up the brightness one stop in Lightroom.
He-
Minor point. Ah,
Ooh,
just
that's beautiful.
I'll also say, this picture doesn't really show it.
What?
Gorgeous. I like to
Jelly.
go into Photoshop and reduce the noise on the background a little bit for these wildlife shots because noise shows up in areas of constant color, especially primary colors like blue and green.
Yeah.
So here we see lots of blues and greens, and it could be the JPEG compression, but I think it's noise. And in Photoshop, you can pretty quickly select the out of focus areas and just add a little blur, and you'll eliminate that noise.
I agree.
Most people won't notice it. It's fine. Oh,
Most people
those
don't even
European
have
robins,
that good of vision.
so lucky.
I don't think.
Yeah. But here, this is a constant blue, and because it's a primary color,
Yeah.
only one of 4 pixels, like receptors on the sensor, is receiving blue.
Is that what's going on? I didn't realize that was why. You know science. Keep going. Oh, that's a beautiful bird. What is that?
I don't know. I don't
Does it have a
recognize
tick? Right near its eye. I think it has a tick.
I'm not sure. Great shot, though, Wendy. I mean, all of these pictures, these are not done at a feeder. These clearly took a lot of time and planning because you just don't get that close to birds.
Chickadees.
Chickadees will let you get close to them.
Chickadees will touch you.
They're the least shy of the birds.
Is that a blue tit?
It is a blue tit, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a blue tit.
Dang.
I know, everybody's giggling now. Beavis. Great spotted woodpecker. So
We're getting. She said, yeah, TJ is her cousin. TJ's so cool. Okay.
Wendy, I just want to say, some of these pictures, you've missed focus by just a hair. You always want that focus to be right on the eyes.
You know what's really hard about that? Is
It's
that
hard.
like your focus point is like this big when you're looking through your camera, and then the eye is like that big, and you just keep shooting, and you just happen to get one in focus because it's just not that precise.
Yeah, even with DSLRs, which I know she's using, you pick a single focus point that
Yeah.
helps. And some cameras like the 7D and the 5D Mark III will let you use even a smaller version of the focus
Yeah.
point, and then you put it right on their eye. And depending on the camera you have, I like to use continuous focus and just keep refocusing. And sometimes I'll just keep clicking and move my body just in and out a hair.
Wow.
Because the depth of field is so shallow that
It's
if
very
it focuses on the beak, then the eye will be a little bit out of focus, even though they seem so close.
Wildlife is just really hard.
Yeah, and the way you fix that is you just have to take a lot of pictures. You're not going to get with just one shot.
Oh,
so
yeah. I've
I
had
know
times-
she knows all these rules.
She knows all this, but there have been times when I've taken 100 shots and only one is really worth showing. It's tricky.
Yeah, and I'll also say most people don't really notice a little bit of out of focus. This shot's a little bit of out of focus, but I don't think most people would notice. But we strive for perfection. So, beautiful, beautiful shots, Wendy. We're so glad you sent your portfolio in.
Can I read to you?
Yeah. Go
Someone
for it.
said, Justin, you are sexy. We want you on camera. Justin, care to comment?
No comment. Oh, my mic's working now. Nice.
He knows he's sexy. I talked to
You
him about
embarrassed Justin.
Jerry Johnson, who I love, says no photo news or super zoom preview. Sad.
Oh, we gave a bunch of photo news. We did
Give a
forget to
little
talk
bit.
about the super zoom. I forgot to make a slide for it.
Yeah.
So if you follow my Twitter, which you should, follow both of our Twitters, you'll have seen these results already. But we wanted to say we tested both the Tamron and Sigma 150 to 600s. The more expensive Sigma, the Sport.
Yeah.
And the Sigma is sharper than the Tamron, noticeably so.
Yes.
And we did a double-blind test involving dozens and dozens of photographers.
Dozens and dozens.
It was pretty universal that they liked it better.
It was by kind of a hair, though.
But they're kind of in the same group.
Yeah.
The Sigma's sharper, but is it worth twice as much? It's not twice as sharp.
It's also very heavy, over 6 pounds.
Yes, and especially for if you're planning to take it on a hike, you will not enjoy carrying that thing around. It's over 6 pounds.
With
For
your
flying
camera,
birds,
that's
if you're
like
doing it
7
handheld,
pounds.
which you kind of have to,
Yeah.
it's hard. You will get tired on just one long run.
Right.
And it gets hard to hold your lens up. And sometimes the difference between getting the shot and not is can you hold the lens up?
Right.
So that weight matters. So the Sigma is sharper than the Tamron, but very heavy and twice as expensive. So those are factors to consider. Both the Canon 400 prime and the 100 to 400 zoom,
400.
the Mark II, the new one, were sharper than those 600 millimeter zooms at 600 millimeters. So we took those 400 zooms, cropped them
Cropped
down
them,
to
yeah.
match the angle of view of the 600 millimeter lenses, and then scaled it to the same resolution. In a double-blind test, people found those scaled images, cropped and scaled, to be sharper than the 600 zooms.
But I have to say, the difference was not that much.
People universally picked those two over the zooms. But it's one of those, we just recorded the video about it.
Yeah.
One thing I said was the difference between the worst lens and the best lens in our comparison is like one step.
Yeah.
If you can get one step closer to the bird and get the shot, then you will make up that difference. It's all about getting close. Our friend Chris Rao knows this.
Yeah.
He,
Wears camo.
yeah, and he hides out for
You
hours.
hide out for a really long time.
And
you
you
have to
can
be very
use
patient.
the worst lens and get close and get super sharp results. It's all about getting close. We try to help people with the equipment part of it, but it's 95% technique and 5% gear when it comes to wildlife.
Practice,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were surprised by the Canon 100-400 prime's sharpness. Excellent sharpness because I used the original one for 11 years. People don't necessarily know this, but I photographed over 1,000 species, photographed and cataloged over 1,000 species with that lens, and it was never especially sharp. This one is much sharper than the previous, and in fact, a hair sharper than the 400 prime, which we love. So we still recommend the 400 prime.
Yeah.
The new zoom, excellent. We have
Yeah.
a full video
It's
coming
gonna be
up that
coming
will show
out.
you all the details of it. But if you're just dying
Hopefully
for
you
it,
like it.
sorry, I forgot to say that.
Wow.
Wendy, your pictures are just awesome. I want to look at your flight pictures here. Oh, gorgeous
Okay,
scenery.
so but wait, we're supposed to be doing her portfolio, and we've kind of gotten sucked into her pictures. So we need to like think about
Oh.
if her portfolio is complementing her pictures.
I know I'm being sucked into her pictures.
I know, but stop, because we're not doing Wendy any favors by loving her.
I love sometimes wildlife pictures aren't tight. Sometimes you show the actual scenery, and Wendy's showing this pretty well. There's more to this picture down here. Wow.
Tony.
Okay, so
I'm
you want
gonna
to just go back to
rein
the
you
portfolio?
in, and we're going to go back to the home page, and we're going to try to think of something for Wendy to work on.
Yeah, the organization of the portfolio is difficult. Like right now, first you can see the title of this has an underscore and a number in it, which isn't
Wendy.
great. And I could not see how to get back to the home page from here. And I had to like highlight the text because it was hidden against the dark background.
So another thing that is bumping me is that there are a lot of words and the pictures are very small. Wendy, can you just try Squarespace? You don't have to buy it. Just try it. Wendy.
It's a consideration that the layout of your portfolio might not be like up to par. I'm not trying to sell you anything, Wendy.
You don't
The
have to
pictures
buy
are
it.
awesome. But yeah, the layout.
Even if she
could use a
tries it, though,
refresh.
she could get ideas by looking at their templates of how to kind of organize this site.
Yeah, it is a little. It's a little
Sorry,
complex.
Squarespace. They probably don't want me to say that. But.
Everyone's cracking on her about the Comic Sans font. Is that a big deal?
Well, you know what?
If everybody's cracking on her, I guess it's a big
You know
deal.
what, Wendy? People don't like that. I don't know why people are font snobs because that's a weird thing to care about. But people hate Comic Sans, and I don't even think they really care about any other font but Comic Sans.
Yeah, or handwritten fonts. I don't think this is Comic Sans, but it's handwritten. So I would just go with a plain old like Arial. Do you have a favorite font? You're a designer.
No,
I shouldn't say font. I should say type. Is that right?
I don't know.
The About page doesn't even mention that she's your friend's cousin. So
Wendy,
she's
Get it
using a
together.
70D. The original 100 to 400L, which I was just saying wasn't that sharp. But clearly you can get great pictures with it. Wendy, I gotta sell you on that 400 Prime. You gotta sell that thing and buy the 400 Prime. I'd love to see an email address there. Thank you for submitting that, Wendy.
gotta love that Wendy.
You said like you had another.
A comment.
Okay.
Jerry Johnson said if we like Michio Kaku, which we do, I watch him on YouTube, he said he'll send us one of his books with wine. Yeah. that
Michio
sounds like
Kaku
a-
and wine. It's a science nerd party.
Yeah. I don't completely agree with Michio Kaku, but he's way smarter than me, so I guess
I don't mean to get off topic, but how do you disagree with Michio
Well,
Kaku?
because he believes... I don't want to get into it. He believes in free will, and he doesn't even consider that maybe things are preordained. And I just think that you can't really strongly believe in either one. Because you can't prove one, and then the other one we don't know yet. so.
Michio Kaku is very aware of the press and people's perception of him, and
That's
so I think he
true.
crafts
That's
science in a way that will make him received well. Like I think he wants to be.
You know
popular.
why I don't have any friends? Because I go to parties and then bum everyone out with physics. I'm like, we're
And
not.
not everybody has a deep opinion on Michio Kaku. Like we've gone beyond just seeing him on NBC or something. We like followed his career, and we're like, yeah, you know, as a public representative of science, we
But I like
appreciate
him.
some of this. But
I just don't.
kind of seems like you're trying a little too hard or something.
Okay, we'll move on from that. I keep hearing something upstairs. Is somebody in our house and we don't know it?
I guess we'll find out later.
We'll
when
find
we're
out
murdered.
later.
Yeah. Christopher Franklin, Beauty is Veiled Photography. This is a Squarespace portfolio. This has a different type of layout. It's kind of showing a single picture and then it wants us to enter it. So it feels like more of an event.
Wait, stop.
Okay.
My first impression was, whoa, holy bejesus, this is beautiful. But then those flowers are fake. Those are fake blue roses and fake.
You know they're fake because they're blue, or did you just see the
Because you
texture
can
of them?
see that this is plastic, and you can see the texture here is plastic, and you can see that they're fraying.
There's also some fake solar flare there.
Okay, let's just go in. We're going to forget about that. Let's go a little deeper.
But I feel like this is a time when we need a non-photographer to review that picture because we get really in deep. And you're super into like fake flowers and
No, I'm not. You take it
Not
back.
that you like fake flowers,
Take it
but
back. I'm super into fake flowers. I
you're
guess I
super
am.
into the difference between real and fake things.
Who isn't?
Maybe everybody is.
I like the name. Beauty is veiled.
Yeah, and I like that picture too. Nice
Oh, that's
backlighting.
nice.
It is.
I always wanted to be able to put my hands in my hair good, but I don't have that skill. What?
I
Say
feel like
it.
the eyes are a little overprocessed. Or
That's a common one.
that's a great picture. That's my favorite one so far.
Too much solar flare.
I don't know why, but I feel like her tattoo is fake or something. There's something about it.
We
And
don't
I feel like the
trust
solar
this
flares.
guy now, right?
Yeah, we're just trying to spot the photoshopping. Yeah, this is also fake solar flare, but again, I don't think anybody else would notice this.
But you know what? He asked us.
You're right. He asked us. Tone down the processing on the eyes a little bit.
This one doesn't bump me with the eyes.
Oh, really?
No, that one's okay, right? Yeah.
Is she on a football field? There's that white stripe there. Maybe
don't
that's
know.
part of the story. I don't know. More solar flare.
That's Wendy. She just pinged me. Sorry.
Her face is definitely overprocessed here, right?
Maybe a little.
Justin, did that bump you?
Look at that puppy butt, though.
I'm biased. I saw this. I talked to this guy on Twitter and saw his portfolio earlier this week, but it didn't bother me. No.
Okay.
I think that
See how we are about science? Justin had to declare that he was biased before giving his comments on it.
I know. I really like the picture, but now that I'm onto the solar flare thing, I can't stop seeing solar flare.
Yeah. So
Even though this is a beautiful picture, I love the pose of the family. The puppy is adorable. Oh my gosh, how did you even concentrate? But that solar flare, it's all I can see now.
So I will back up and say I think you got the shot here.
You got it.
The processing could use revisiting. You could even layer the original shot in with the picture you have here and just tone it down 30%. Just
30%.
yeah. Just reduce the
Precise.
opacity on your edited shot so that there's more of the original shot in there,
Okay.
I think. The solar flare. But I like the shot.
I like the shot.
As a photographer, I feel just bumped
I
by
really
all
like
that.
it.
And I like the pose here
I like
too.
the pose.
Yeah. She did a really good job
She
kind of
did.
working the lines, and
She
you
knows
as a
her body.
photographer did a good job on bringing her through
She
that.
knows the body. Overall, I really like this portfolio.
Yeah, I think we're just suggesting kind of revisiting some of these and processing them a little less. About BIV. A mirror shot. Do you think you should reverse that, or is it clear that it's in a mirror?
I think it's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I like this portfolio. I think that it's good. Maybe I just tone down the solar flare a little bit. Oh, I like the menu. Looks like a dinner menu. I'm hungry.
You're making Chelsea hungry.
So hungry.
We'd love to see your email address. Oh, well, I guess you have it here. My bad. Okay, great portfolio. Let me just look at quickly what you said.
What do you say?
Squarespace is amazing.
All caps.
But he used all caps, so that means more.
It means more.
Did you have more comments for us, Chelsea?
Someone thought the birds on my shirt were marijuana leaves.
What? No, they don't look anything like it. Not that I would know what a marijuana leaf looks like, but I don't think they have wings and a head.
This person. This person wants to know, Steven wants to know how much weight the camera socket for the lens can hold. He has a 70 to 200 Tamron, and he's always afraid that he's going to break his T3i if he doesn't hold the lens just instead of the camera, which, yeah, you do have to support the lens. If you just hold the body and have the big lens, it will start to bend the mount.
Yeah, I think the T3Is have a plastic mount. And so
Ooh.
over time, like you don't have to be paranoid about it. You can just pick it up by the body and it's going to be okay. But if you were holding it out there, if you put it on a tripod mounted to the camera, eventually it would start to bend the plastic a little bit. And that would change like the plane of focus
That
and things would be a
scares
little
me.
bit blurry. But you don't have to sweat it. We pick up at the cameras. We have a 500 f4, which weighs like 9 pounds.
Yeah,
and we
but
pick
you
it up by
know
the
what?
body all the time. and-
Honestly, I don't think you're the best person to ask because our gear has been through some things.
I do see my gear more like a carpenter sees a hammer and a drill. Like these are just tools to get the job done, and if it can't hold up, then I will just get something that
So
can.
yeah, you have to understand not everybody thinks that way. A lot of people like to cover it and put caps on all the time, whereas you are like using it as a hammer, which I don't recommend. Yeah, just be careful. I would support it by the lens.
So Memory Creations Portrait Studio, I definitely know that we've seen some of
We
these
have?
pictures before. I don't know if we've just seen them in the group, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Have we reviewed this
Like
portfolio
last
before?
week or something.
Recently?
Really?
Yeah, you remember this? Didn't
Okay, so my first
You definitely
impression-
recognize this picture, right? Was
No.
it just maybe in the group?
Maybe in the group.
My first impression is that the red background is really distracting for me.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it has a lot of visual
And the
weight.
yellow text, it's like very aggressive colors, that high contrast combination. And there are a lot of pictures and they're just kind of mixed in. The genres are really mixed in. We have family, we have some like sexy lady, and we have a baby. Maybe too many for the front cover.
This is definitely a case where we have to talk about the processing a little bit. Like I feel
Yeah.
like he's getting the shots, but the processing is her eyes are over processed here, right? Does anybody disagree with
Mm-hmm. But I
that?
like the pose.
Yeah, I like the pose too, but her eyes are so much brighter than her face. I would just
Yeah.
bring up the exposure of the entire picture to match the exposure of her eyes.
I wish that when we give people these critiques, they could see our awful pictures that we had, because we're not judging. I've over-processed pictures to a point where I'm just not proud at this point.
Everybody goes through a
Everybody
phase
goes through it,
when you've
yeah.
learned the photography and you're starting to move on to mastering Photoshop, and you simply do too much of it.
Yeah,
because as you're doing it, you add a little more and it always seems a little bit better, and you add a little more and it seems a little better. You have to go back and do a before and after, and then, like we say, just always tone it down. Sometimes
down,
10%,
tone it down.
sometimes 30%.
Call over a friend, say, these eyes, can you tell I edited them? And
Yeah.
they're going to say, yeah, I can, and then change it.
Call over that jerk friend of yours. The guy who tells you that your shirt looks stupid. We all have,
You mean our viewers?
right, everybody on YouTube. And the one that will give you the honest opinion.
Okay.
And ask him, because sometimes friends are
Oh.
too nice. Yeah, I heard it whirring and then die real quick.
Oh.
Feel like you ran out of batteries there, Charles.
No,
Definitely
how
ran
will
out
I
of
know?
Okay, well, my God, it's 6:17. We've gone way
Whoa.
over. Thank you for
Whoa.
your portfolio submission. I'll give one last link. Which website was that? Memory Creation Studio. So easy to set up. Love the color and templates. Customers love how easy it is to see my great photo skills. Super easy to set up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Quick plug for our books,
We
Stunning
made those.
Digital
They're
Photography,
good. Whoa,
and the
that's my
Lightroom
face.
5 photography book, sdp.io/LR. Those are both available. And
We never did stop it. Did you see my picture?
It's kind of funny.
I know.
this episode was brought to you by Squarespace. Many of these portfolios are hosted on Squarespace, and we genuinely think it's the best place to host
We really
portfolios.
love it.
But we're biased because they're our sponsor. But we haven't found anything better. If you feel like making your pictures look gorgeous on Squarespace, go to squarespace.com/Tony. You get 14 days free, no credit card required. If you want to share it with people, you'll have to sign up, give them your credit card. But you can get 10% off by using the coupon code portfolio. That lets them know it came from us. We don't get any money for it, but it just lets them know that we're doing a good job telling you about them.
Do you ever wonder when they're going to just get sick of us?
Squarespace?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have another sponsor lined up or anything.
No,
We'd
I
just
don't
be
even
working
know why
for
they
free
like
at that
us.
point.
Oh, I don't want to
Just
work
like
for
free abuse, basically, on YouTube.
Oh.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank
We're
you.
here every Thursday at 5, so we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.